Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Michigan International Speedway for the second race of round two in the NAMAR Mountain Dew Code Red Series playoffs. We're getting ready for two 10-lap heat races here early afternoon. If you couldn't tell, there's something a little different about this track. We'll get to that in a second. Here's your top 10 starting lineup for Heat 1. Ryan Brommer, Bobo Jones on the front row. Joshua Sekuli and Casey Nanaka, row 2. Nine-time heat winner Hunter Braxton and Andrew Rich are in row 3. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and Adam Flickinger in row 4, with Frodemar Otts and Skyke Commons in row 5. And now, yes, let's get to what's different about Michigan today. There's snow everywhere. Anywhere there's grass, there's snow, and they still got the Christmas trees up, so hopefully no one wrecks into the snow.
Y'all come say it with me. Drivers, start your engine!
So at Springfield, Andrew Rich won the race. That was his 5th win of the season, and it locks him in to the round of 10. Now, the rest of his team did not have a good day. Matthew Logan, Dale Lightning caught up in wrecks. Hunter Braxton's motor expired from the lead, and Eli Bright was caught a lap down after pitting under green. Right now, coming into this heat, the 5 drivers out are by a tiebreaker. Audra Baran-Oska, Dylan Young over her for the tiebreaker. Johnny Gardner, Eli Bright, Hunter Braxton, Sumit Oskin. Those are the 5 out after one race, but we still have 3 races to go. Green flag is out here at Michigan. And just look at all that white you see. That is all the snow. Yeah, just look at this track, man. It is covered. Hopefully no one wrecks. If people say there's like some, the track officials say there's some hardened clumps of snow down there. So you do not want to wreck here today. Let's just see what the top speeds are, because it looks like Bobo Jones either has a problem or everyone got a really bad start. But you see, they will have to lift here today at Michigan. 175 mid-corner for Ryan Brommer. Down the straightaway, 195 at the start-finish line. About almost 200 in the corner, 200 in draft for sure, as they are 3 wide back here for third. And what's the preferred line going to be? It looks like the middle is pretty good for Braxton there, as he holds off Fitzwater for third. But right now, Sekuli is the only one trailing Ryan Brommer, who's peeled away from the pack here at the start of this race, or this heat race, rather. Jonathan Zorlin started 23rd here in this heat. How's he doing? Well, he is already up to 16th. So working his way through the field fast. Eli Bright at the back of the pack. Right now your bottom 4 are Skyke Commons, Benjamin Ice, Baco Magora, and Slay Jagger. So that means Zane Beckett would be out, because the 19 gets in via playoff lock-in. And yeah, Commons not having a good heat race so far. He's back up to 23rd. Once tire wear kicks in, perhaps he'll make his way through the field, but it looks like he's struggling so far to get off the corner well. And just see how much draft is huge at this track. About 205 into turn 1 for Commons. But you definitely need grip in the corners, and his car is just not gripping the track well right now. Meanwhile, Brommer continues to lead Hunter Braxton in second now. Brommer is looking for what would be his 6th heat win of the season. After breaking the tie with Zorlin again, Braxton would be looking for the 10th heat win on the season. But he's not really closing in on Brommer right now, and we're already on lap 5. Fall off has just started to hit these top runners. But Brommer out here in clean air, just with a really strong race car. We'll have to see if anyone has to come to pit road. Fitzwater running in third, having a great heat race right now as he looks to continue to make every race this season. He's come close to missing the last two races at Gateway and Springfield, but now it looks like that they're out of Illinois. His luck is turned around. But Braxton on back. No one is gaining ground on Ryan Brommer. He continues to pull away. Fastest lap time on the track is Adam Flickinger. And Brommer, who's been up front by himself with no draft, is second on that list. Adam Flickinger running in sixth place. We're down to we're up to lap 7 now, as you see fall off about half a second rather. So tire wear is coming into play, but Brommer just continues to drive away. Just the strongest car here in Heat 1, as Brommer is likely looking to get what would be his 6th win of the season. Right now in a three-way tie with Matthew Logan and Andrew Rich for most wins on the year. And another 5 playoff points in a lock into the round of 10 is what he would receive from that win, and he's been really hitting that hot streak right now here in the playoffs. We've noticed drivers tend to hit a 4 to 7 race hot streak at some point in the season, and Brommer's on his hot streak right now. You've gotta be a top contender, race in and race out. We'll come to 2 to go. So far, it does not look like we will see pit stops here in the heat races. Sky Commons still in 21st. Frodemar, because of Commons being 21st, Frodemar is currently not in the race. Sorlin has made his way up to 12th, as Brommer continues to lead Braxton, Fitzwater, Sekuli, and Rich. So now the question, does anyone come to pit road? And coming to the white flag, Brommer can't make it. He's giving it up. And everyone who was in draft the whole race takes the white flag. So Brommer, the only one who had to come to pit road. Commons moves up to 19th, but Frodemar still out of this race because of Brommer's pit stop. And apparently leading the field the whole way is not the way you want to win a heat race. And so being gifted the heat win, his 10th heat win of the season, it's Hunter Braxton, who for the first time this season will win back-to-back heat races. And it's his 3rd heat win in the playoffs. So a tough break for Ryan Brommer, who could not make it 10 full laps on fuel. He's in the playoffs, so he's locked in regardless. So missing the race will be Otts, Cage, Jagger, and Magora. And Braxton will start on the front row with whoever wins Heat 2. I will see you guys for that race. Welcome back to Michigan. It was clear and 16-degree weather for Heat 1. It's cooled down another 3 degrees and the clouds have rolled in, and that means one thing: higher speeds, more fuel use. And I predict Ryan Brommer could only make it 9 laps by leading the field. Everyone in draft made it that extra 10th lap, but I predict that we should see at least half of this heat pack or heat race field have to come to pit road. I think lap 8, coming to 2 to go, you're going to see the front runners peel down, and then we'll see maybe everyone else the next lap. So we'll see who can utilize the draft best, because draft in Heat 1 in clear conditions was top speed at 205 into turn 1. And I think it's going to be closer to 210 here in Heat 2 because of this cloudy condition. Anyway, let's get let's get to the starting lineup here in Heat 2 real quick. Cavanero and Ellison on row 1. Nareza and Lightning row 2. Tringali and Mendes row 3. Young and King in row 4, with Voiles and Gardner in row 5.
Drivers, start your engines!
So we saw no incidents in Heat 1 as everyone is rolling. As mentioned, a lot of drivers in this heat that are in the playoffs had problems at Springfield. Lightning and Logan and Rex. Young with a header gone wrong. Johnny Gardner was en route to win the race, but he pit under the yellow thinking he needed fuel, and then he only got back up to, I believe, 19th. So a tough break for a lot of drivers. Michigan could make or break their momentum heading into Indianapolis. And Indy's going to be a tough track to pass at too. As the green flag is out here in Heat number 2. We end the round at Charlotte. That should be a pretty interesting race. Unlike Brommer, Cavanero does not just pull right away from the field. Nareza side by side with Ellison for second, as the middle line continues to show its dominance in a manner of speaking. As we'll see right here, what is the top speed in Heat 2 when you're in the draft. And oh man, yeah, it is really up there, almost 210. As Mendes makes it 3 wide. And I really think pit stops will be a thing here in this heat race. Ellison with the preferred line on corner exit will hold off Nareza for second, as he'll try and track down Cavanero. By this point in Heat 1, Brommer was already ahead, about 8/10 and out of draft range. So we'll see if Cavanero is able to pull away from the field or not. The more they battle for second, the more likely it is, but I think Ellison has gotten to the draft, and right now it looks like the only car who can make the bottom line work is the 4 of Mendes, as he'll clear Tringali off the corner for 4th. Tringali will cut back down on him on the back straightaway, but no draft for the 16. Oh, but Mendes has to wiggle up for the 16 mid-corner, as Dylan Young's trying to make some moves down the straightaway here. As here comes Nareza on Ellison again. Cavanero looking for what would be his 4th heat win of the season. Same for Nareza, as Nareza powers by Ellison in turn 1. Tringali takes back 4th from Edwin Mendes. Talked about Joe Gibbs Racing, lack of winning a main event. Commons came really close in his race at Springfield. Man, I cannot talk. Second place effort for Commons, but the lap car of Eli Bright, I think, helped decide. Andrew Rich holding on to the lead after he took it. Those two were fighting back and forth all race at the end there. Nico Tringali up to 3rd. I think Tringali's got a strong car, yeah. I think he's a favorite to maybe get this heat win, because he's moving to the inside on the Nareza here down the back stretch. But Nareza will hold on to 2nd for now. Tringali, his last heat win came back at Auto Club. That was his 3rd heat win of the season back then. So a lot of drivers looking for their 4th heat wins of the year, and the chance to start next to Hunter Braxton on the front row at a track that seemingly appears to be difficult to pass at. But if you have the right car, you can make the move. And there's the move by Nareza as Gardner's making his way up towards the front. He's looking for fourth on James Ellison. And Nareza has the help from Tringali into turn 3. Gardner side by side with Ellison. As Nareza will edge ahead of Cavanero here at 4 to go. Now the real question, when do you have to pit? And do you take fuel only or do you take some tires? Fall off is only about 4/10 of a second, so not a lot of fall off there. Dylan Young also making his way towards the front as he's trying to take 5th away from Ellison. Cavanero looking back to the inside of Tringali. As they come off of turn 4, coming to 3 to go. Johnny Gardner looking for a way by the 18. Is peeking his nose on the outside. Fastest lap here in the heat goes to Nareza. Right behind him is Tringali. Gardner makes a move on Cavanero for 3rd. He's got the 3rd fastest time. Lightning 4th, Cavanero 5th. As Dale Lightning is up to 8th. By the way, your bottom 4 here in Heat 2, Catano, Watson, Anderson, Rowe. And I think we're looking at pit stops here coming to 2 to go. Yes, indeed, Tringali and Cavanero will be the first 2 down. Edwin Mendez as well. Alexander Rowe will fly in from the back of the field, hoping to pass anyone if everyone else has to pit. That puts Nareza, or holds Nareza in the lead, puts Gardner up to 2nd, Ellison 3rd, Young 4th, and Lightning in 5th. Young looking under Ellison for 3rd. Now the real question, can everyone make it, or do they all have to pit here for a splash of gas? And I think the answer is yes, some people have to pit, but not everyone. Dylan Young will stay out to take the white flag with the 5 of Dale Lightning right behind him. Dylan Young did the exact same thing back at Gateway. That was his 4th heat win of the season back at Gateway. Now he's looking for what would be his 5th. But Dale Lightning's creeping up looking for heat win number 7. Matthew Logan stayed out. Fernandez, King, Riggs, Wheeler. And coming off of turn 4 to take the checkered flag, Lightning's actually going to come to pit road as Dylan Young wins heat number 2. Man, it's been a long time since I saw someone peel down the pit road coming to the checkered flag. But Dylan Young will get his 5th heat win of the season, 2nd of the playoffs. And he'll get the start on the front row with Hunter Braxton. Waiting for results to be official. You see Lightning and Wheeler both came to pit road there at the end. So Chris Wheeler will get to make his first start in a while. It'll be his 16th race of the year. Waiting for results to be official. Jackson King also came down pit road at the end there, and that's going to kick him out of the race. So officially missing the race will be Benny Watson, Cole Baker. Round 1 eliminee RJ Bishop will miss out on Michigan. And Jackson King, as Dylan Young wins his 5th heat win of the season. And I wonder if Jackson King ran out of fuel, because it didn't look like he came to pit road. His pit stalls passed the start-finish line. So King, I believe, ran out of fuel on the last lap. Judging from those who came down to pit road, it probably would have been Johnny Gardner taking the heat win. But Dylan Young, Matthew Logan, Zoe Fernandez, and Corey Riggs are all able to stretch it 10 laps. And Dylan Young will start on the front row with Hunter Braxton. Dylan Young, a reminder, has a total of 3 wins on the season, but he has not seen victory lane since Burlington back at the end of the East Coast Tour. So a bit of a winning drought for Dylan Young, who was the first driver to get to 3 victories on the season. Will he get his fourth one later today in the main event? 50 laps here at this snow-covered Michigan racetrack. I will see you guys then.